Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions. I'm Ron Mackenzie Lafergie. Ever since humanity first began looking to the stars, we've wondered about the idea of aliens. Could there be other intelligent life out there? What would it mean to us? Let's explore. If you enjoyed this video, please thumbs up and subscribe to the channel down below. Now get ready, it's time to ask the question, what if another advanced species existed? Some believe that there absolutely is another advanced species already, simply due to probability. With tens of billions of potentially habitable planets in our galaxy alone, it seems likely to the point of near certainty that at least one of these planets would be the home of an advanced species. However, one problem with this idea is time. Humanity has only been around for a very short time relative to the universe's 14 billion years. When you take into account that the other advanced species would have to exist in the same limited time period as us, it limits the options significantly. Furthermore, distance plays a large factor. While the odds of other intelligent life in our galaxy or universe are fairly high, they would either need to be relatively close to us or have developed some sort of faster-than-light travel. This significantly limits the number of possible aliens that we could run into, as they would either have to be very close or very advanced. However, let's assume for the sake of argument that this advanced species did happen to exist at this time and was a reasonable distance from Earth. How might we interact with them? Many believe that this intelligent life likely wouldn't make itself known to us. As Arthur C. Clarke once said, "I'm sure the universe is full of intelligent life, it's just been too intelligent to come here." This is hard to argue with. If an alien looked at the world now with fighting within and between countries, war, poverty, struggle, Earth doesn't exactly look like a vacation hotspot. But let's not sell ourselves short. There's a pretty good chance that they would in fact come to visit. The question is, how would this visit go? Well, I think most of us would be rather apprehensive. Humans aren't exactly the most welcoming of people, and there's a good chance that we would not accept the aliens, regardless of their reason for coming. It could be that the military would attack them out of self-preservation, which could lead to them leaving us alone or an all-out war. However, if the alien species was more advanced than us, there's a good chance that we would try to work with them. You know what they say, if you can't beat them, join them. And there is a great deal we could learn from a species like that. If they were interested in working with us, we could see incredible technological development in the following years. Of course, all our own good intentions would be nullified if the aliens had their own nefarious intentions. It could be that this quest to other planets is not exploratory, but one of domination. If an alien species was sufficiently advanced to make their way to our planet, they would likely be capable of destroying us. And there's a chance that this would be their goal. Not every alien race would be benevolent, and it could be that their own biology would cause them to distrust outsiders and bring them to attack us rather than take a chance with trusting us. While many of us would love to be visited by the Vulcans or the Time Lords, it could be just as likely that we would be invaded by a race like the Klingons or the cricketers from Hitchhiker's Guide. On the other hand, they might not even realize we are intelligent. There's a good chance that a sufficiently advanced race would see us in much the same way we see ants, and wouldn't even bother making contact.
Man, the people look like ants from up here.
They are ants, Michael. They are ants.
It could be that Earth would simply be ignored by them, or worse yet, would be taken over and wiped out to serve as an outpost. From their perspective, this would be no different than humanity's destruction of natural ecosystems in the name of industry. And that's a pretty terrifying thought. Now we return to our question, what if another advanced species existed? Well, if they did, there's a pretty good chance that they would be too far away or would exist in a totally different time period. They may not even wish to contact us, either due to the flaws in our society or simply because we're too stupid to bother communicating with. If they did contact us, however, our races could learn a great deal from each other, as long as we don't kill each other first. Thank you for watching Life's Biggest Questions. I hope this was interesting and informative, and maybe even inspired you to look into it further on your own. If you like this video, please thumbs up and subscribe to the channel down below. While you're down there, let me know if you think there is other intelligent life out there. Until next time, I'm Ron Mackenzie Lafergie with Life's Biggest Questions, wishing you the best of luck on your quest for answers. Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions. I'm Ron Mackenzie Lafergie. Back in 1997, Jerry Amon detected what he thought could have been radio signals coming from an alien civilization. This signal, called the WOW signal, after the notes written in Amon's findings, has for decades been used as evidence that there is other intelligent life out there. But was this actually sent by aliens, or was it caused by something else entirely? Let's explore. If you want more science videos, check out our Biggest Science Questions playlist on the channel. Now get ready, it's time to ask the question, was the WOW signal from aliens? Since this is an event that not everyone is aware of, let's go over it in a bit more detail. In 1979, 1977, astronomer Jerry Amen was using the Big Ear radio telescope at Ohio State University, aimed at the time at the constellation Sagittarius. At one point, he received a strong 72-second-long burst of radio waves, which he thought could signify something very important. He circled his findings and wrote "Wow" next to them, which would eventually bring about the name many associate with the signal. These findings have been held up for the last 40 years as proof that aliens are out there, with many assuming that these waves must be transmissions from them, similar to our own communication systems. However, it was recently hypothesized that this strange signal could have somewhat less interesting origins. A 2017 study by Antonio Paris from the Center for Planetary Science looked at radio signals over the course of a year, observing comets that had passed through the sky at the time of the WOW signal. It was determined that comet 266P Christensen emitted a radio signal at 1420.25 MHz, the same as the readings of the WOW signal. This was further tested by looking at the readings of 3 other randomly selected comets, detecting a radio signal at 1420 MHz from each one. These findings run counter to the idea that this signal came from aliens, instead indicating that it was from a comet, or the hydrogen cloud surrounding it. That said, these findings are not undisputed. Some astronomers, including Jerry Amen, who originally noticed the signal, hold that it wouldn't explain why the signal seemed to be cut off abruptly. Critics also claim that the comet in question could not have sent such a strong signal, given its known characteristics. But Paris counters this with a claim that the comet may have been larger in 1977, and that the size of the Big Ear radio telescope may have also been in play. It's also pointed out that no such signals had previously been reported coming from comets, but Paris holds that this is due to a lack of research on the subject. It's even claimed that the comet was in the wrong place at the time to have caused the signal. However, whether or not it was the 266P Christensen comet in particular, this evidence does provide some support for a natural source of the signal. With Phase 3 of Paris's study set to take place this year, we'll have to wait for more information on this. While the controversy rages on, scientists continue to search for proof of this signal's origin. Some are reluctant to accept the findings of Antonio Paris, but most scientists agree that the signal likely has origins in some planetary body, rather than an alien civilization. However, this is not to say that it's impossible that other alien life exists. We continue to search for signs and signals that could indicate alien life. The Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence Institute, or SETI, employs a number of radio telescopes to aid in their constant quest for alien signals. The sheer number of planets makes it rather probable that some sort of alien life, possibly even intelligent life, exists elsewhere in the universe. For more on this, check out our video, What If Another Advanced Species Existed? And now we return to our question, was the WOW signal from aliens? Well, as of now, we still don't know for sure, but it's possible that it actually came from the hydrogen cloud surrounding a comet, which admittedly sounds somewhat less far-fetched than the alien explanation. As cool as it would be to have received a signal from aliens, the evidence we have seems to support the idea that the signal was a natural phenomenon, originating from a comet rather than an alien civilization. However, this won't stop us from continuing to look to the stars. Who knows, maybe down the line we'll receive a bona fide communication from an alien race. Maybe we already have. Or maybe, just maybe, this video was made by aliens. Thank you for watching Life's Biggest Questions. I hope this was interesting and informative, and maybe even inspired you to look into it further on your own. If you like this video, please thumbs up and subscribe to the channel down below. While you're down there, let me know if you think the signal came from aliens, or a comet, or something else altogether.
What if aliens invaded Earth? That's a question all of us have asked ourselves at least once. What would happen if an advanced civilization from a distant galaxy came to Earth? What would happen to humans? And what would it mean for our Earth? One thing is for certain, if aliens invaded Earth, it would be the most significant event in the history of our planet. Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions. I'm Charlotte Dobre. Renowned scientist Stephen Hawking has warned that the human race could be devastated if aliens learn of our existence and came to Earth. But why would they want to come here in the first place? There are several reasons why an advanced alien race would want to invade Earth. Maybe aliens want our DNA. They could want to abduct us and perform experiments on us. The idea of an alien-human hybrid has been the subject of many books and films. Not to mention, there are many who claim to be genetically engineered alien-human hybrids, and also those who have claimed that they have been abducted by aliens and impregnated by them. Why would aliens want to mate with us? Some say it's to help us advance as a species, or maybe it's something far more sinister. It is also known that there are certain sections of the human genome that scientists don't know the function of. Maybe those genes might have value to a different species if they were transplanted into their DNA. Perhaps Earth has a resource that extraterrestrials are running out of closer to home. Maybe they would come here to harvest some sort of precious metal that's harder to find elsewhere in the universe. Something like scandium is used to make aerospace components. It could be rare enough that aliens might want to travel here to get it. Or perhaps humans themselves are the resource and aliens just want to eat us. Maybe extraterrestrials could want to domesticate us or make us into slaves. History has shown that humans are hard workers. Who's to say that an alien race wouldn't want us as their slaves? If extraterrestrials came to Earth, they might want to make it a suitable habitat, considering that they came from a different place. They would either completely exterminate Earth's natives or enslave them. Aliens could also feel threatened by humans. We might not be able to compete with an alien race right now, but eventually, humans might develop into an advanced civilization that could prove to be a match for aliens. And maybe the most concerning reason of all, maybe aliens want to conquer Earth purely for their own amusement. They might look at humans the way we look at insects, but instead of a magnifying glass, they would have interstellar weapons. So, hypothetically speaking, if aliens had a reason to invade Earth, what would become of us? We would have no choice but to surrender and hope that the invaders would treat us kindly. There's no way humans, with all our weapons and advanced technologies, would stand a chance at winning against an alien invasion. But in the event that we surrendered and the extraterrestrials chose to wreak havoc on us, we would be pretty much screwed. Aliens would likely attack the world's largest cities. There would be mass chaos, and the fact is, many of us are unprepared for the event of an apocalypse. But there are real organizations with actual protocols in place that outline the government's response to an alien invasion. Government officials and the elite would be relocated to places like Mount Weather, located in Virginia. It was constructed during the Eisenhower administration and was originally designed to protect the president in the event of a nuclear attack. Mount Weather is a facility with an underground network of tunnels, its own water filtration system, and enough food to last several months. For the rest of us though, things would be tough. We would all try to avoid being abducted. Many humans would hide in fallout shelters or basements. Some would travel to remote areas or islands in an attempt to flee the chaos. In films, aliens come to Earth for one of two main reasons. They come here for Earth's resources, or they come here to abduct us and use us for experimentation. But would aliens really single out Earth, travel across space-time, and come to our planet for our resources? It is becoming more and more apparent that Earth-like planets are not uncommon. Scientists estimate that around 30% of stars that are similar to our Sun have Earth-like planets. Plus, our planet is not necessarily the most desirable anymore. Deforestation and pollution are to blame for that. If there were an alien civilization that was advanced enough to travel across the cosmos, they would probably pick a planet that's not already drained of resources. Plus, who's to say that alien invaders would be unkind to humans? No one knows exactly what aliens are like, so how do we know that they would be hostile? We don't. So, what if aliens and humans became allies? Well, that sounds like a topic for another Life's Biggest Questions. I'm Charlotte Dobre for LBQ. Don't forget to like this video, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more answers.
The pyramids, an archaeological mystery. Built over 4,500 years ago, the grand structures in Egypt were a feat of human strength, even impressive to this day. But what if it wasn't human strength that got them done after all? What if it was aliens? Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions, the channel that looks to answer a whole slew of queries. Why? Because why not? We believe that every question deserves an answer. I'm your host Rebecca Felgate, and today I'm asking, what if aliens built the pyramids? Again, why not? Before we get into this video, I want to ask you guys how you think the pyramids were built. Was it aliens or clever ancient workers? And if aliens did it, why did they leave? Also, while you're down there in the comment section, why don't you leave a thumbs up on this video and share it with a friend that loves a good tinfoil hat? Also, be sure to check out the links in the description to the people that went into making this video, and stick around to the end to hear some comments. Okay, the pyramids of Giza. Whopping great structures, the biggest of which is the Great Pyramid of Giza. It is 480 feet tall and made up of over 2.5 million heavy blocks. We suspect that they were built 4.5 millennia ago. But why? Well, we don't know. And how? Well, again, we just don't know. We have theories for both of those questions, one of the more ridiculous being aliens. But when you think about it, when you examine the facts, is it really ridiculous? So the pyramids are weirdly mathematical. They align perfectly with the River Nile, near perfectly with the magnetic North Pole, and astrologically speaking, they align with the brightest visible stars to us on Earth. On top of that, the southern shaft of the inner chamber of the Great Pyramid points to the constellation Orion, which is linked to the Egyptian god Osiris. At this point in history, there is no way humans could have created this on purpose. While ancient Egyptians did have have some grasp of astronomy, it was in its infancy as a practice. Continuing the weird math, it seems that if you divide the parameter of the Great Pyramid by the sum of twice its height, you get pi, to an accuracy of 15 numbers. Now, this is super weird because the Egyptians wouldn't even learn about pi for another 2,000 more years, and even then, they kinda got it wrong. The correct calculation of pi was not calculated to the first 7 digits until the 5th century AD. One more weird example of strange math, the coordinates of the Great Pyramids are 29.979245 degrees north. The speed of light is 299,792,458 meters per second. So, is this coincidence? Or is this aliens? What's going on with those digits? Aliens seem as good an answer as any, especially when it comes to understanding how pyramids were built in just 20 years, when the manpower and tech available at the time suggests it should have taken closer to 600 years. So if aliens did build the pyramids, then where did they come from and where did they go? Where did they come from, Cotton Eye Joe? Just why not? A quick Google of alien pyramids will flash up news sites such as the Daily Express or Fox claiming that pyramid structures have been seen on Mars. And of course, the Egyptian Sphinx has been linked to the infamous face on Mars. But if aliens who built the pyramids are living on Mars, then why have we never found them? What was Spirit and Opportunity doing roving around all that time if it wasn't discovering Martians? Perhaps the speed of light calculation is a clue that they can travel fast and far. Perhaps on their working vacation to planet Earth, they stopped off on Mars on their way home. Could be. But where are they now? Well, maybe they're waiting. Maybe there's a clue in the pyramid that says when they will return. Maybe the pyramids have a function that we don't know about yet. Perhaps they'll open up one day and become a portal to another dimension. Maybe they've been harnessing the power of the stars they're aligned to. Perhaps a clue lays in the void. We have never gone inside the pyramids for fear of destroying the structure, or maybe for fear of what we might find. But in January 2018, the Scan Pyramids mission used technology to literally scan the structures, and they found a strange empty space right above the Grand Gallery. Is this a clue to the aliens who left us behind? But whoa there. How can aliens have created the pyramids? Ancient civilizations at that time were documenting events and they had their own language. So why aren't there any references to visitors from the skies? Well, some conspiracists say that people mistook aliens for gods, and that actually the ancient gods mentioned in scripture in hieroglyphics were actually extraterrestrials, which may explain why the Egyptian gods look so weird. Maybe aliens did build the pyramids. Some tabloids were circulating images of so-called UFOs flying over the pyramids in March 2017. Maybe they were doing a flyby to check on how things were going. But then again, maybe not. If aliens did build the pyramids, then we are very misguided about our history. Maybe it would help us clear up the mystery of Stonehenge and who built the Easter Island heads. But let's be honest, there really is about as much evidence of aliens building the pyramids as there is dolphins doing it. What is more likely is that actually ancient civilizations were a bit better at life than we give them credit for. Suggesting that aliens did it kind of downplays the integrity of the ancient Egyptians. Perhaps they had some ye olde smarts that were lost in the fire of the Great Library of Alexandria, or aliens, just cause. So what if aliens built the pyramids? What do you think? Do you think that aliens did it? Are the pyramids waiting to activate at the dawn of the War of the Worlds? Or do you think that people did it and we need to dig a little deeper for answers? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Also, once again, if you enjoyed this video, please do show me by leaving a thumbs up and sharing it with a friend. And also, take this time to click on that big, beautiful notification bell. Before I get out of here, I want to read some comments from a previous video, which in some ways is related. I asked, what if Scientology was real? Russell said, we'd all be bending the knee to Xenu. Wouldn't we just? Clay Talman said, what if Rebecca became Queen of the World? All hail Queen Rebecca. Well, that is flattering, and for a second I could really get on board with it. I would like a throne and I love me a crown, but I do think that being Queen of the World would be quite stressful. I'd rather just be Queen of, I don't know, snacks? For balance, we had a comment from Kayla Corcoran, who said, this is nonsense already, less than halfway through. She doesn't know the definition of thetan or how to pronounce it. In fact, this seems to confirm that she's only read stuff on it, and not by the church. Maybe she's just watched John Sweeney, who also seems to miss print and pronounce Thetan. Also, our commenter linked us to the Scientology website and said that actually this is Scientology's real definition. You can decide for yourself if it's real. She also said another core concept of Scientology is observing and experiencing for yourself. It's only true if it's true for you. Do you know what, Kayla? I actually really agree with you. I mentioned at the beginning and the end of the video that Scientology is as real as people want it to be. I do welcome constructive criticism like this, so thank you very much for writing in. Okay guys, thank you once again for watching this video. Do leave a comment for your chance to be featured in the future. For now, I am checking out of here. Thank you for watching this video. I'm your host, Rebecca Felgate. I'll catch you in the next one, but until then, stay curious, stay alert, and never ever stop questioning.
The truth is out there, apparently, lurking behind some cosmic gas cloud or perched on an asteroid hell-bent for our galaxy. The search for alien life has always been at the back of our collective brains, constantly asking the question, where are all the aliens? Surely if there was alien life out there, then it would have had the manners to pop by our planet and at least say hello, right? Well, science fiction has painted a multitude of pictures on how that would exactly play out, but for the most part, the appearance of alien life has been relatively stereotypical. Little green men, pointy-headed, grey-skinned, long-limbed fellows, maybe even a few tentacles every now and then. But the universe is full of billions of varying forces and factors, all of which have an influence on how life may have evolved. So, let's take a look at it, shall we? Hello internet, what's going on? And once again, welcome back to the most inquisitive channel on YouTube, Life's Biggest Questions. As per usual, I'll be your disembodied floating voice, Jack Finch, as today we curiously ask the question, what do aliens actually look like? Roll the clip.
Elliot, look what I made for you.
For the curious amongst you, that clip was from Steven Spielberg's 1982 heart-wrenching classic, E.T. the Extraterrestrial. And if our hypothetical alien race were as kind, curious and caring as our boy E.T., then we'd be a very lucky planet indeed, glowing fingers included. And it leads us to an important opening motion. Historically, Hollywood has depicted alien life as wholly humanoid-based entities. 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes, a neck. But really, it's anyone's guess what form alien life would or could take. Evolution has a habit of finding the most efficient way possible to further the successes of life. As my man Jeff Goldblum says in Jurassic Park, life finds a way. But that doesn't necessarily mean it finds that way on 2 legs. To first hypothesize what alien life would look like, we can turn to our oceans and take a look at the most remote branch of the evolutionary tree, octopuses. Not octopi, as some may claim, but nevertheless our 8-legged friends are a great example of the form that life could take on a remote alien world. In fact, the octopus has often been theorized to actually be an alien species, and in 2018 scientists published a hypothesis that the octopus was a result of an icy asteroid filled with frozen octopus eggs that crash landed in our oceans some 540 million years ago during what is known as the Cambrian explosion. And although it's not widely accepted by the field of science, it addresses some interesting points. As we know, octopuses have incredibly complex nervous systems, camera-like eyes, and even the capacity for camouflage and the ability to turn themselves relatively invisible. As this paper explains, the genes for these alien adaptations do not seem to have come from any octopus ancestors, but instead seem to be borrowed from a far distant terrestrial evolution. Spooky, right? Well, although the evidence isn't exactly clear and present, the fact of the matter remains that whatever form life takes, it has a pretty clear-cut checklist to make sure it can be classed as sentient. Firstly, life has to find out exactly what mushy or non-mushy matter it's made from. Now, although all life on our planet is carbon-based, it is definitely not outside the realm of possibility that alien life could take a much different form. It's highly possible that alien life could be silicon-based because, in fact, silicon is one of the most common elements in the universe. And although molecularly similar to carbon, it wouldn't rely on water, but instead ammonia or perhaps methane. And it doesn't just end at silicon, because it is entirely possible that alien life could be made from iron, titanium, aluminium, magnesium, and even sulfur. Now, you might be thinking, what the hell, Jack? An alien creature made from titanium? That's terrifying. And, well, yeah, it could be, but don't worry, because we're made from carbon, yet we don't exactly have pencil fingers, do we? And that's not even the most terrifying, because it's entirely in the realm of plausibility that alien life could be comprised of arsenic or even random dust particles suspended in some electromagnetic plasma. Yeah, You get the picture. Whatever biochemical form it takes though, it's a given that alien life will need some form of brain to give it the intelligence necessary to make it from the confines of its planet out into the cosmos. And because of that brain, it will need some form of protective mechanism that ensures it doesn't easily get bashed to pieces by predators. Perhaps an exoskeleton, some form of chitin, or a skull similar to ours and our mammalian cousins. For that brain to succeed, they'd need some form of sensory system, which for the most part would definitely depend on the environment that they'd evolved in. You may think our hypothetical alien species would have to have at least 2 eyes to ensure that it can see the civilization that is built, and that's partly correct. A minimum of 2 eyes are essential to perceive distance, but with just 1 it would equal 0 spatial awareness and a quick extinction for the species if they can't see predators coming from a distance. But that perhaps wouldn't always be the case. Take bats for instance, a species that have evolved completely in darkness, and while not completely blind, they use echolocation to navigate their environment. Again, a plausible notion for our alien species, but we can go one further, because the notion of sensory perception is only applicable to how our brain can comprehend our perception of things. It is entirely plausible that an alien species could use stellar radiation as a sensory array, detecting minute changes in radiation to form a perception of its environment, giving away entirely the need for eyes and ears. Yeah, that one would be pretty crazy, but really we only have eyes because of our planet's proximity to our sun, and our need to differentiate between the electromagnetic spectrum. Some aliens could see in infrared, ultraviolet, or not at all. Any form of sensory perception would inevitably need some semblance of communication to coordinate in social groups, which would eventually lead to some form of society and then civilization, but that one is literally anyone's guess. Communication could indeed be just like ours through voice or hand signals, eventually leading to written text and mass media, but that's just the evolution of our species. This particular alien life may have evolved their communication through the secretion of pheromones to denote positive or negative instruction, as well as a spectrum of emotion, or perhaps even a complex series of blinking phosphorescent patches on their face or body. Whichever method they had harnessed though, communication is integral to civilization, and without it they would never collectively reach the stars. Now, as we know, intelligent communication eventually dictates the need for technology, which would have began with the use of some form of basic tools. To build tools, our hypothetical alien species would need some kind of manipulative digits like our fingers, although not necessarily an opposable thumb, as any number of prehensile tentacles would suffice. I'm looking at you, Cthulhu. But the fact of the matter is, that point is only reliant on the environment that this alien life evolved in. You see, we need tools on our physical plane of Earth because of the thousands upon thousands of malleable minerals and materials that have led to our technology in manipulating matter. But it is entirely possible that sentient alien life could have evolved in a gaseous or liquid atmosphere, not necessarily even on a solid planet. In that case, these aliens could be nothing more than sentient clouds floating about in the cosmos without the need for tools, their brain comprised of a series of electrostatic nerve endings expanding and condensing at will. They could be so far removed from our perception of what life actually is that perhaps we'd never even realize that they were in fact an entire alien civilization. We may think that alien life has to adhere to the same set of principles that have led to our species' evolution, but that is based entirely on our known perception of what life actually is. But the only thing that we can be certain about alien life is that it finds a way. What that way turns out to be is anyone's guess entirely. That's also without factoring technologically advanced means of space travel, as it's in the realm of possibility that whatever organic or inorganic species evolved to the point of being an intergalactic civilization could have completely lost any resemblance of their physical form. To ensure the means of spending eons in space, our hypothetical alien species could have advanced to the point that they deemed it necessary to upload their consciousness to a machine. We may never even meet our alien neighbors in the humanoid capacity. Heck, they could very well be a giant robotic head floating about the cosmos shouting, "Show me what you got." Wow, that's pretty exciting, isn't it? There we have it, our comprehensive answer to the question, what do aliens actually look like? And I, for one, can't wait to find out. What about you guys? How do you see it? Let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Before we depart from today's video though, let's take a quick look at some of your more resounding remarks from over the past few days. First up, Charles Enoch says, if you just cleaned a vacuum cleaner, wouldn't that make you the vacuum cleaner? Wow. Wow, Charles. I think you may be onto something there. Well, that's the kind of thing that will get you far in life, my good man, so good job, Charles Enoch. Good job. Well, on that note, I'm pretty sure no one can top that. So unfortunately, that's all we've got time for in today's video. Just stick around all the way until the end. If you're a fan of this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button as well as that subscribe bell, and we'll be seeing you in the next one. As per usual, I've been your disembodied floating voice, Jack Finch. You've been watching Life's Biggest Questions, and until next time, you take it easy.
The US military has responded to the viral plan to storm Area 51 to quote, free them aliens. But in their response, they didn't directly address nor deny the presence of aliens at Area 51. They simply said that the military is ready to protect America and its assets. Curiouser and curiouser. So, is the government hiding aliens at Area 51? That is the question we are asking right now on Life's Biggest Questions. Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions, the channel that asks the fundamental questions of life. My name is Charlotte Dobre, and if you're new here, hey, I know we just met, but hey, you should hit that subscribe and notification bell so you never miss one of our videos. And if you want to connect with the creative team behind LBQ, the links to our socials are posted in the description. Alrighty, enough idle chit chat, let's ask the question everyone is wondering right now. Is the government hiding aliens at Area 51? Area 51 is a military base surrounded in secrecy. Only a select few with high security clearance are permitted to enter the base. The US government didn't even officially recognize the existence of Area 51 until the release of declassified Central Intelligence Agency reports in 2013, where the site was referred to by several names including Watertown, Dreamland, and the Nevada Test and Training Range. Naturally, when the government is keeping secrets from the public, imaginations run wild. Perhaps the reason why so many people think that Area 51 is hiding aliens is because of the Roswell incident. Back in 1947, a United States Army Air Force's weather balloon crashed at a ranch near Roswell, New Mexico. News headlines from the time period made the claim that a flying saucer or flying disc was the object that crashed, but the US military denied this. The witness who swore he saw a flying disc was a foreman called William Brazel and his son, who told the Roswell Daily Record he saw a wreckage made up of rubber strips, tinfoil, and rather rough paper and sticks. The military concealed the real purpose of the crash device, which was intended for nuclear test monitoring. So they told the public that it was a weather balloon. Public interest faded for about 20 years until the 1970s, when alien enthusiasts started to make claims that the US government covered up what really happened at Roswell in 1947. UFO researchers interviewed several hundred people between 1978 and the early 1990s, and based on the information they gathered, at least one alien spacecraft crashed near Roswell, and that alien bodies had also been recovered. I mean, you gotta admit, there's a whole lot of secrecy surrounding the Roswell incident. There was a government cover-up, we know that for certain. There have been many books published on the Roswell incident, including The Roswell Incident, 1980, The UFO Crash at Roswell, 1991, Crash at Corona, 1992, and The Truth About the UFO Crash at Roswell, to name a few. But the lack of evidence is pretty undeniable, despite all the eyewitness accounts. But truthfully, if there was any evidence, the government definitely would have kept it a secret. Don't you think? Alright, so what about Bob Lazar? In 1989, famous alien expert and self-proclaimed scientist Bob Lazar said that he was hired to work as a researcher at one of Area 51's most secret buildings, S4. It was such a secret that he claimed that he and other workers were taken there on a bus with blacked out windows so they couldn't know where the building was. Lazar claimed that he saw flying saucers of extraterrestrial origin. These saucers were powered by an unknown red-orange substance called Element 115. The flying saucers flew by generating a gravity wave so powerful that if you threw a ball at it, the ball would bounce away. Apparently, S4 was where the US government was trying to reverse engineer UFOs so they could use the technology for military purposes. Maybe that's where they took the object from the Roswell crash. Lazar was ultimately fired after he took friends into the desert around Area 51 to watch test flights of the saucers. Bob Lazar also recounted a time when he was led down a hallway at S4 when he caught a glimpse of a gray alien standing between two men dressed in white coats. But before he could get a better look, a guard pushed him and told him to stop looking and keep moving down the hallway. I should note that Bob Lazar's credibility has been called into question many times in the past. His claims about his education and his employment couldn't be verified. All the claims he has made have not been backed up by hard evidence. And then in 1990, he was arrested for his involvement in the operation of a Nevada brothel and prostitution ring. He said under oath during that trial that he had degrees from MIT and Caltech, yet bankruptcy documents verify that Bob Lazar was self-employed as a film processor. Truthfully though, if Lazar really did work at the most secret section of a super super secret airbase, would those records be available or would they be classified? Bob Lazar is not the only whistleblower who has come forward with claims of aliens being held captive inside of Area 51. A man who goes only by the name of Victor said in a 1997 radio interview that he bore witness to an alien interrogation, and he even provided a video as proof that shows an officer trying to communicate telepathically with an alien pilot who was captured by the US military.
From which it was learned that he came from the Zeta Reticuli star system.
Can we eliminate one or more of these categories from discussion?
The laborious process of developing a set of symbols that could be used and understood by both human and alien.
TBH guys, it looks pretty fake to me. And also TBH, Area 51 and the secrets it supposedly holds are an absolute cash cow. Dozens of books, films, and TV shows have been made about it. Sightings of strange unidentified aircraft in the area definitely didn't help the spread of misinformation, but we know for sure that Area 51 is an Air Force base that tests experimental aircraft. So sightings of strange aircraft nearby are not out of the ordinary, are they? To answer the question, is the government hiding aliens at Area 51? Dude, probably not. As much as I do believe that we are not alone in the universe, it is highly unlikely that the US government would keep UFOs and extraterrestrial specimens at a place that everybody knows about. What do you think? Is the government hiding aliens at Area 51? Let me know in those comments. For now, I'm gonna respond to some comments from my last video on this channel. What if we all storm Area 51? Are you sick of these videos yet? Cause I'm not. Muhammad said there used to be this old YouTube channel about a guy who worked in Area 51. He would talk about things that went on there until one day he recorded himself being questioned by a military officer while on the run with a hidden camera. His channel and videos about him have been terminated. I tried looking him up, no traced. Interesting, very interesting. I definitely haven't heard about this guy. If you have, link us in the comments, but his channel also might have been terminated because YouTube doesn't allow conspiracy theories on the platform anymore. McCary Sam said, I'd share my popcorn with Charlotte while watching the moment unfold. I don't really like sharing my popcorn, but I'd do it for you. Aubrey said, the government forced her to make this video to discourage us. We can't listen to her. Hey man, I can honestly say that the government didn't force me to do anything, just don't want to see 1 million people get massacred, you know? That is it for this video, and thank you for watching. If you want to keep watching, check out the playlist that's currently flashing on your screen. And don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so I can see you in a future episode of Life's Biggest Questions.